Hello and welcome back to another video. We have the July ScrawlrBox here. We have just come back from our camping trip and this morning it was just posted through the letterbox, and I'm really excited to dig into it and use some art supplies that hopefully I've not used before, or something that will push me out of my comfort zone, because I think I am ready to try something new. So let's dig into this box and see what we have in here. It feels fairly lightweight, nothing much to it. Oh, straight away a pop of colour. Also, is this inside very new? I don't remember this from last month. Oh, I like it. I feel like you could crop this out and put it in a sketchbook or something and fill these in. Might do that. I like it though. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. And as usual, a tree is planted every time you purchase a box. So we have the Scrawlr Zine. This will tell us a little bit more about the supplies and a few other things, but we will flick through that at the end. It feels a bit more matte this time. Interesting, but we will put that to one side for now. This is the featured artwork. It looks like we might be using pencils and potentially character design. Very interesting, something I'm not used to. This is a very, very interesting piece of artwork. I really like it. I love the bold colours, I love the bold lines, and I just really like the style. It's a bit Studio Ghibli with this house on the feet, but I like it, I like it. So let's have a look who this is. So this is Steph, an illustrator and potter from the UK whose love is telling stories through creative, wonderful artwork. Her artistic style often tends to transport people to fantasy worlds or fetch them with her on adventures painted across the page with ink, pen and brush. Very good. So this is the social media links there, so I will be checking those out after this filmed clip. Okay, so we'll pop that to one side. Let's get into these supplies and see what we have in here then. So like I say, I think my conclusion might be pencils, but could also be wrong. Oh, okay. Okay, let's pop this to one side. Okay, so straight off the bat, we have our Scrawlr sticker, which is a nice snippet of that artwork. Very, very nice. Pop that there. Our sweet for this box is a watermelon sour bubblegum. Okay, so if you know me, you know I love a sour sweet, so I will put an overall sweet taste rating here and a sour rating out of 10 once I've tried that after this clip. Now onto the supplies. Wait, let me try and find... Okay, I don't seem to have the little slip that tells you what's in the box, but we will see what we can come up with. So we have this little postcard here. Oh, it's lovely. I love the artwork. I love the style again. Very, very nice. So this is a little postcard. Interesting. Then we have, I'm going to get to that one last, we have a Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pen Fine Liner. This is size 0.7. So a nice chunky fine liner there, which makes sense since there's a lot of chunky line work on there. Very nice. I do have a few Faber-Castell Pitt pens. I do like them. They're very nice. Then we have an angled brush in size 8, a ScrawlrBox one. I love the size of this, the feel of it. It's very, very nice. Very nice. Okay, so not pencils like I initially thought. Oh God, I got that back in there quite well. So let's see. So this looks like it is a Viviva sort of thing. So we've had Vivivas, but in their colour sheets. So I wonder if this is their pans this time. Yes, it is. Very nice. I always like Viviva for putting kind of more recycled things around this. This is cork around the pans. It even comes with a little swatching thing here, and we can mix on this and it folds away. Very nice. I love Viviva. They are very vibrant, very good watercolours, so I'm curious to see what their pans are like. I've been eyeing them up for years, but I've never felt the need to get them, as I have far too many paints. If you've recently watched my studio tour, you will know what I mean. But these look a very interesting set of colours. I like that. Okay, so that's nice. I wonder if they're not doing the little card anymore. They've got to. It comes with the Scrawlr challenge. Okay, anyway. And then lastly, we have some A5 watercolour paper here. 8 sheets of 190 GSM. It's cold press. Yeah, so it's got the nice dimpling and the texture to it. So interesting. Okay, I'm going to have a flick through of this zine because clearly I need to know what is going on with the supplies a little bit more since I don't have the little slip. So here we go, the Scrawlr content. So we have, okay, so the colours are cinnamon, mango, a nice pale kind of pinky colour, a nice orange, opera, which is this kind of plum colour, alizarin crimson, red, viridian hue, like a very greeny colour, deep blue, violet, and burnt umber. So a nice set of colours. But as you can see from here, this doesn't look like it's, you know, burnt umber. I love that about them, I really do. So here it says they're 100% vegan, 100% recycled cork, and 100% biodegradable. Very good. That's kind of it, nothing else I'd like to know about. Then we have some information about the Scrawlr artists themselves, so I'll have a read of that, but I love the art style. It's beautiful, illustrative work, lovely, lovely, lovely. Then we have the Scrawlr tips, which as always I will read as we swatch the supplies. We have a second Scrawlr tips, which is a bit more about behind the artwork. A limited palette cheat sheet. So again, I'll have a read of this and I'll do a bit of a synopsis when I swatch. Then we have the Scrawlr gallery. So this features artwork done by us as creators when we tag Scrawlr challenge on Instagram, Twitter, you know, Facebook, all of that, from 2 boxes prior. So this is from box 93, when we received the CMYK colours. I can't remember what it was. I think it was pens, water soluble pens, the eco lines, ink pens, and the Scrawlr challenge for that was kaleidoscope. Very, very nice. I like those. Very good. Wow, beautiful, beautiful. And then the top 3 for that month are these 3. I can see why. Wow, this is incredible, incredible. I love this. This is very nice. I like the texture and the line work. Same with this. Very, very nice. So make sure you always tag Scrawlr challenge so that you might get featured. And then the Scrawlr extra is Invaders of the Lost Ark. Okay, so I'll have a read about that. I'm not sure what that's about. And then here, so they sometimes add a little bit of extra information. We have a bit called No Supply Menu. It's not missing. We've decided to remove the separate printed menu and challenge card from the boxes to save paper and include them in the zine instead. So the Scrawlr challenge is Quest. Are they going to include this in the back so we know? Or is there going to be something in the front telling us the Scrawlr challenge? I don't know. I understand why they're trying to save paper, but obviously anyone who is a subscriber of ScrawlrBox will already know this, and I think it's being rolled out next month anyway. But ScrawlrBox has gone up again by £2, so it is over £20 now for the box. So I'm hoping we see some more intense supplies, some more extra things in the boxes, just to kind of I don't know, bump up the content a little bit more, because some months personally, and I don't know if it's just because I don't like the supplies that month or something, I'm thinking, you know, they need to include something extra, and if they're taking that out, they need to do something extra. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down below on that, because I'd love to know. It's having a price increase on something can be very controversial, and I'd like to know your opinion, because I obviously have my own, and that is that I'd like to see maybe some more not higher end supplies, because we do receive, you know, Faber-Castell, all of that, but maybe, I don't know, something different, maybe something a bit more crafty some months, or I don't know, a truly mixed media piece, or sometimes something a bit coherent, because sometimes the supplies don't work together very well. So I'd like to see a little bit more about that, but let me know your thoughts, like I said, and let's get to swatching these supplies and reading the Scrawlr tips, and then get into the artwork, I've already forgotten, based on the Scrawlr challenge Quest. start off with the Scrawlr tips, of which there are actually quite many. And firstly, for the Viviva pans, we have a little bit about activating and swatching. So using the paintbrush to drip water to activate the paint, or using a spray bottle, which is what you can see me doing here. It also talks about ratios and values. The beauty of watercolour is the vast amount of values you can create by diluting your pigment with water to create a scale from light to dark. Practice your water to paint ratio value using a palette. Start by watching your paint in its purest form and gradually add more water. Finding your angle. The angled paintbrush is one of the most versatile paintbrushes. It's great for matte making, switching up how you hold it for a variety of brush strokes. You can make some really cool effects too. Then it talks a little bit about stencils, making some stencils and painting through those, which is a pretty neat idea. And then it also has a little bit about negative painting. So instead of painting the subject first, flip the process by painting the strong background colour around the object, which I thought is quite a nice idea, and I'd really like to try that in my sketchbook at some point, so that would be nice. And then it actually goes into more depth about the colour itself and about colour temperature. So knowing which colours are warm and cold will help you intentionally mix bright or muted colours. Warm colours lean towards a yellow base in the pigment, whilst cool colours have a blue base. When you mix two warm tone colours, the colour mixed will be muted. When you mix two cool tone colours, the colour mix will be brighter, which is something I actually didn't know, so I'm really excited to try and figure that out a little bit more, have a play with colours. Then it talks a little bit about using complementary colours. These are opposite each other on the colour wheel, for example blue and orange. Place them next to each other to make your work pop, mix together to make a muted colour. So there's loads and loads and loads of stuff about colour theory in here, which I'm really pleased of. It's something I do actually struggle with. And then in terms of some more Scrawlr tips, and this is the one that I use the most and you can see me doing right now, is actually creating a Payne's grey from the colours, from these 8 limited colours. So if you mix the purple, the dark brown and the blue, you'll get a Payne's grey, which will act as a darkening colour instead of black, which I think a lot of people lean on, and I think I definitely lean on. And with watercolours, I've learned recently to use neutral tint, which kind of works the same way, so I'm really pleased to know how I can mix that myself. And I really rate these extra tips we're getting in the Scrawlr zines lately. They've been really helping me with my colour theory, and I think it is probably one of the more valuable things that they put into these Scrawlr zines that we could all definitely learn from. There's things in these that I learn from every month, so really pleased with that. But all in all, as you can see, I did one of my usual colour swatching techniques with this grid method, and look at the absolute vast array of colours we managed to achieve. They're just beautiful, and from 8 colours you just can't believe the amazing amount of colours, and the amazing greens. There's some olivey greens in there, and some just a massive array of colours, and I'm really pleased with them, and I highly recommend this misting technique. Your desk will get very wet, but the misting technique really does work. It just keeps them activated and wet and full of pigment, so you can always pull a large amount of pigment. So for this artwork, and I do have a little chat to you at the end about this, but I will go into a bit more depth here. We've recently been on the camping trip. If you've been watching my vlogs lately, I've been mentioning it quite a lot, and there will be some upcoming travel vlogs and a little sketchbook date from when we were there. But I took this lovely photo of the loch that we camped next to, and it's just a perfect little painting, and well, not painting, a lovely scene to paint, which I really liked, and thought it just gave me a lot of inspiration. I really wanted to paint it, and I think it's very nice. It had a really moody sky. It was quite rainy on our camping trip, so it had a very moody sky. So as you can see here, I'm just creating the kind of nice moody shapes of the clouds, going darker and darker until I could kind of get that moodiness in there, but also show the perspective of the clouds moving away from us at the loch, which I think I achieved quite nicely. I do wish I'd stopped here at this point, or a little bit further when I had a bit of that Payne's grey colour, because it definitely looked better at this point. And then I added, it did say about not having white, and instead playing around with that mango and the, what colour was it? I can't remember, the pale colour there, playing around with those two colours to create lighter colours. So when you saw my swatch there was a lot of lightening going on that white would usually do. So I decided to add a little bit of the sun shining through, just peeking over the little mountains in the distance, which I thought worked quite well as well. And then moving on to the trees, I can't believe the vast amount of greens you can get from this. I was able to build up bluey greens and greeny greens and yellow greens and all the greens you can imagine. I managed to build into those trees. I do wish I had gone a little bit lighter on them. I definitely added quite a lot of pigment, and same with that. At this point I'd already covered all the nice detail I managed to get with the watercolour texture, because the paper being cold pressed, you can get a lot of lovely texture and flowing texture from the watercolour if you just let it go over in thin washes. And the zine does mention a few things about glazing and just creating very light glaze washes over the top of one another to create texture and colour depth, and I do wish I had done that in this. At the end I show you a sketch I'd done in my Moleskine, and that for sure has a little bit less intensity in the colour, and it definitely worked a lot better. But here you can see all the array of greens I managed to achieve on this, and the depth that I managed to achieve. I thought it was quite nice. I think I wish I'd not gone so linear down to the right with the trees at this point, so I think I do add some variety in the size and the height of those trees, but all in all I think it worked quite well. But I think that's all I've got to say about this. I'll give you my final thoughts at the end, but overall I really like these supplies, and I'm a big advocate of Viviva colour sheets. I take them when I travel all the time, and they're just really beautiful paints. So if you don't have this box, highly recommend getting it when they do a sale of the old boxes. But for now I'll leave you to watch the rest of this painting, and I'll share my thoughts at the end. So I think I am done with the artwork. I really love these Viviva pans. They are so saturated with colour. They are just beautiful to work with and very nice. The cold pressed paper, again, very nice to work with. This is still a bit wet. And I really enjoyed the vast amount of colours we could get within just that limited palette of 8 colours, and I will definitely be using this as a travel palette for the future. I really like it. my artwork was basically, it's actually based on a reference from when I was on my camping trip. And I kind of like the idea that we were going on a quest and this was part of the walk that we were going on. That's kind of how I'm tying in with the quest. I did actually do a practice before doing this, and I actually think I prefer the practice. So this is the final piece in the cold press watercolour paper, and then this is the practice that I did, and I think I much prefer it. I prefer the sketchy, lighter look of this. I definitely went a bit too heavy with the pigment on this one, but it's a learning curve, and sometimes working smaller can sometimes be easier, and I think in this case it definitely was. But I really enjoyed that, and I hope you enjoyed that too. Please let me know how you found the supplies, if you've received a ScrawlrBox yourself, and again, let me know what you think of the price increase that Scrawlr have recently announced. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.